Welcome to Bike World, welcome to sunny Spain, welcome to the launch of Triumph's new Scrambler for 2024. So this is the launch of Triumph's new Scrambler. Two new models to choose from. The same kind of parallel twin 1200cc engine, but the big talking point on the top of the range model is that it's £400 cheaper, and on the base model that's £800 cheaper. Now what I've done with the top of the range model is kind of got slightly less equipment suspension, so we've got fully adjustable Marzocchis. Before it was Öhlins, I believe, on the rear, but we have got massive Brembo Stylema racing calipers. And then on the base model or lower spec model, which is even cheaper than last year, Triumph have made it more accessible. So we've reduced the travel in the suspension to make it far easier and accessible, because the top of the range, the XE, it is a tall bike, where the lower spec model again is trying to de-spec the suspension slightly and made it more accessible. So we've got two bikes to test, some off-road, some on-road, and we're just going to the Triumph Adventure Experience to see what it's all about. Gotta love it. Now before we had the XC and the XE. So Triumph have got rid of the XE and really tried to make a clear path between the two models. Before the Triumph Scrambler 1200 was almost like which box of options do you tick? But now we've got two very different models, as you can tell. So starting with the improvements for 2024, both share the same engine, both share the same torque characteristics, both have got the exhaust moved slightly out so we don't get that heat anymore. With other modifications to the headers, there's a slight increase in torque. Peak torque is a little bit lower in the rev range and there's more torque low down. Quoted power is 89 bhp and quoted torque is 81 foot-pound, which is same as before, but the torque curve is more meatier at the bottom. But the big talking point is going to be the final setup and the chassis. So the XE used to have Öhlins fully adjustable rear and Showa fully adjustable front. Now we've got Marzocchi front and rear, which is fully adjustable and very similar settings to what it was before, which makes it a little bit cheaper because we don't have that blingy Öhlins sticker that you see on MotoGP bikes. So that's a £300 to £400 cheaper than it was. Then we get onto the X, which is a very different bike altogether. Yes, it's got the same power, it's got the same engine characteristics, and they've stayed with a 21-inch front wheel. But as you can clearly see, they've made it much more accessible and much lower. XE has a seat height of 870. On the X, we're down to 820. And they've basically done that by reducing the travel in the suspension. They've also saved cost in areas. So Marzocchi fronts are no longer adjustable. Before they were adjustable Showa units. The rear has got preload, made by Marzocchi, no longer Öhlins, saves a little bit more money. Brakes, we've got Nissin calipers, we've got Brembo Stylemas on the XE. But this bike is around £800 cheaper than the previous model that it kind of covers, and it's way more accessible, way easier to ride, and much lower, and feels like a smaller bike, but with the same 21-inch front wheel and the same power and the same torque as the big XE. So I've had the opportunity to ride both bikes on road and on track, and because I'm a dwarf, I actually prefer the little X. It's just more accessible, more easy, and more fun. I'm really enjoying the less spec, if you want to call it, version. It's way more accessible. It's only 2 kilograms lighter, but it feels actually more. 21-inch front doesn't feel like a 21-inch front. The clocks are a bit more basic. I haven't got adjustable suspension. Nissin brakes are nowhere near as strong as the Stylema. They are, when you wind it up, getting approached to their limit of stopping 230 kilograms. But it's only when I'm starting to ride the bike outside the design parameter of the bike, when the peg starts gripping and
extra touch, trying to back it into corners is when you kind of go, yeah, alright, there's limitations, but who's going to ride a scrambler that hard? Probably nobody.
But when we get our trained stunt monkey Chris on these, he's going to go banzai on that XE. That is a proper scrambler capable of doing amazing things. Triumph started the whole scrambler revolution in the kind of 60s, and in California they were jumping over sand dunes and looking really cool, which I guess that's what Chris is going to do on that. That is capable of jumping over buses at Wembley. That is an incredible, capable off-road bike.
So we just got to the off-road area, just for a little play. This is the adventure area for Triumph's Adventure School. Just have a little play. It's still quite wide, and it is a big bike. There's no hiding the fact this is a heavy bike, but there's not many other scramblers you can do this on. Well, I don't think so anyhow. I've gone for off-road. As an off-road pro, in off-road pro you've got no TC, no ABS. In the pro we've got some TC and some ABS, but it's designed to be used in an off-road situation. So as long as if I switch off and switch back on again, it saves my mode, but if I switch off the ignition it won't save my mode. Because obviously if you're in off-road you ain't got any ABS, or it's not road biased ABS.
But for me, it is a little bit tall, it is a little bit big, and it is a little bit heavy. I actually prefer the lower and user friendliness of the X. On the road, this feels really friskly and steers really nice. The weight is low and I can get 2 feet on the ground. Where the Big Daddy, she's a bit of a handful. But the flip side is that does look really good. And I know riders over 6 foot love that bike because that is a big physical bike. In terms of accessories, there's a huge abundance. You can turn this bike into off-road smashing over rocks with bash plates, or you can put luggage on both bikes and turn them into some long distance. You've got cruise control if you wish, ride-by-wire, multiple rider aids, cornering ABS, cornering traction control. The list is really impressive what Triumph have done while still reducing cost. Yes, on this model in particular you've got basic suspension. It's not as tricky as it used to be, but we have got cornering ABS, cornering traction control that the old bike never had. I guess the big decision on buy-in will be down to price. So we're at 13,295 for the XE and we are at 11,895 for the X. Then you've also got to ask your question, are you actually going to ride off-road? If you're not actually going to ride off-road and you're more my size, then the X might be a better option.
Do you know what? I really like the little version, smaller version. I mean, it's still a 1200 for God's sake.
If you are actually going to go off-road, then the XE has got more travel and the bash plate and more ground clearance.
Surprising what you can get away with. There's no ABS on the rear. The more you ride it, the lighter it starts to feel.
But this is still capable off-road, and you can still fit off-road bias tyres, and it's still got a 21-inch front. I think this is the bike that a lot of customers really wanted. They loved the XE, they loved the stature and physical prowess of that bike, but now it's just more accessible and easier to ride. Hopefully we'll get these bikes back at Bike World, because I want to see what Chris can do on that, because that's going to be amazingly impressive. But for me, maybe I'm just getting old, but I think I prefer the smaller one.